Okay, hello. Welcome to your art appreciation class. This is your teacher Janine, and we will continue with our discussion about the art of emerging Europe. Okay, so we'll continue our discussion. And first of that is Mannerism. Mannerism was a period in art history which was a product of the Renaissance period. Most artworks here, the spirit display distorted figures, two-dimensional spaces, discordant hues and colors, and lack of defined focal point. And it's important to note that mannerism is a word that came from an Italian word maniera, which means style. And style of this of the paintings of the mannerism emphasize Renaissance subject matter, but through an elongated, distorted, and antithetical style. Now, when we talk about antithetical style, it is directly opposed or contrasted or mutually incompatible. It's known for its artificial, exaggerated, and sophisticated compositions that often features unusual viewpoints, tense poses, and unusual colors. It was influenced by the works of Renaissance like Raphael and Michelangelo, but Mannerist artists created it highly artificial compositions. Okay, and also when we talk about artificial art, well, if it's in the present, it is the content of artificial art is an art that is created with the assistance of AI. Okay, but when we talk about mannerism in this period also, it is a copy of something not according to nature or not natural. Okay, so this also paved a way to Baroque and Rococo styles. Okay, so again, that is mannerism. Okay, now we go with Baroque and Rococo. It says here the term Baroque is derived from the Portuguese term barroco, which is translated as irregularly shaped pearl, which, according to some historians, was a response to Protestantism. This period roughly spanned from 1600s to 1750. Most of artists use colorful palettes and ornamentation to their works. While Rococo refers to an artistic style, especially of the 18th century, characterized by fanciful curved asymmetrical forms and elaborate ornamentation. Okay, so if we differentiate this when we talk about Baroque, when in terms of painting, sculpture, and architecture, it emphasized drama, detail, motion, and intense stylization. While Rococo, it is peaceful and sensual movement of painting and design featuring pastel colors and elaborate details. What's the difference between Baroque and Rococo? In Baroque style, the preference is for saturation, volume, and massive scales. While for Rococo style, it's about slender lines, intricate details, playfulness, and lightness. Baroque is more on a serious part, a more provocative style, while Rococo relies on a sense of lightness and playfulness. Just like, for example, here, this is Baroque and this is Rococo, okay? So, again, there is a difference between how they use the colors, how they made use of the hues, okay, from darkness and lightness also, the volume in that they used also. Okay, so these are just some example also of the architecture of Baroque and Rococo. So if you take a look, well, if you take a look at the bigger picture of Baroque, okay, so this can be seen also in churches. Okay, so they have a lot of designs also. Okay, and we go with neo classicism. Okay, so it says here that there seems to be a debate among historians as to beginnings of modern art. There are accounts that would attribute for the emergence of this kind of art during the French Revolution. Neoclassicism was a movement in Europe that transpired during the late 18th and early 19th centuries. Neoclassicism art is an art or movement that focus on how art should express ideal virtues and improve life through the clarity of form, somber colors, and classical scenes. Art movement that began in the 1760s and lasted until 1840s and 50s. It was inspired by the ancient Greece and Rome. Emphasizes idealism that seeks simplicity, symmetry, and proportion. Okay, so usually it focuses on ideal human form. So when we talk again for neoclassicism, it talks more about idealism also. Okay, so they would try to portray their paintings the perfect body proportion of a human too. Okay, so just like what you're seeing now in the picture, okay, so they try to portray even those they call warriors. They try to portray them as a perfect, well proportioned portrait. Okay, and we go with romanticism. Romanticism as an art movement used the central themes of neoclassicist artworks as a springboard. Okay, of course, when we talk about springboard, it has something to do with taking the idea also, but they try to differentiate it in a way that they would call it as romanticism and not neoclassicism. Okay, during the age of revolutions, there has been a tremendous focus on patriotic and nationalistic movements. Okay, so well, it's important to note that even if there are conflicts, wars, and revolutions, still the development in art is still there. Okay, how the artist would try to give their ideas and to share their or to express their feelings would still be there. Okay, even in the midst of chaos, there is an art. The major and central themes of Romanticism movement include the emphasis on the goodness of mankind. Artists also emphasize emotions and feelings of man, which was a deviation from the humanist principle of rationalism. Because when we talk about being rational, uh, it means that you must take less of your emotions, okay? Because as they said, no, that when you are too emotional person, you cannot really decide rationally, okay? Because every time that you will decide, if you are an emotional person, every time that you will decide, of course, your decisions are based on your emotions, and that is not being rational, okay? And romanticism, it's a movement where paintings, subject matters varied but emphasize emotion, spirituality, mystery, and feelings. It was also distinguished by a new interest in human psychology, expression of personal feeling, and interest in natural world. It is a stylistic diversity and range of subjects. Romanticism defies simple categorization as the poet and critic Charles Baudelaire wrote in 1846, Romanticism is precisely situated neither in choice of subject nor in exact truth, but in a way of feeling. So, well, if we go back here in the present, we always say that art is an expression. Okay, it is a way that we can express all things that we feel. Okay, and that is romanticism. It focuses on the feeling of a person also towards the artworks that they are doing. Okay, that is romanticism. And also, we have the realism. Realism, a style of work, focuses on the accuracy of details that depicts and somehow mirrors reality. Realism as modern movement in art veered away from traditional forms of art. In a way, it revolutionized themes and techniques in paintings. Idealistic concepts and images were replaced by real manifestation of society. In realism too, painting movement emphasizing extremely realistic depiction of the reality of everyday life. An artistic style that depicts reality as accurately as possible without artificiality and embellishment. It seeks to represent nature or contemporary life in an accurate, detailed, and unembellished way. And also, when we talk about realism class, it rejects the imaginative idealization in favor of a close observation of outward appearance. Okay, so well, also we have an example here. Okay, so by Ilya Repin, Barge Howlers on the Volga. This one is in an oil on canvas that they are deserve that they are at the point of collapse from exhaustion, oppressed by a heavy hot weather. Because when we talk about howlers there, okay, it's important to note na in the present, when we say hauler, this is used to transport or the goods. For example, yung mga trucks na ginagamit, that is yung hauler na tinatawag natin. But way back then, of course, um, still naman 'no, even if there is, technology or machine, hindi pa rin lahat merong pang-transport. So dati, because of slavery too, they use people also 'no, to deliver goods. And these people, because they are servants somehow, of course, they don't have enough rest, okay? And, way back then, this delivering of goods, uh this kind of transaction is somehow exhausting talaga for the people who are involved there, but they have to do it because that is the job that they have to do. Okay, well, it's good now, diba, that if you want something, then you can just ask for, you can use online shop also to get what you want. Okay, but way back then, it's really hard for people to deliver goods. That's why it causes delays too. And from that, again, because it has something to do with realism arts. They want to portray the reality that's happening in our society. Okay? Even way back then. And realism also can be done today, diba? If there are some conflicts, wars, or if there are some unjust actions here in our country, usually they can make use of arts to portray those kinds of reality in our society. Okay, so we go with Impressionism. The Impressionism movement started in France, which led to a break from the tradition in European painting. Impressionism is a style of painting that emerged in the mid to late 1800s. The most conspicuous character of Impressionism in painting was an attempt to accurately and objectively record visual reality in terms of transient effects of light and color. And the father of Impressionism is Claude Monet. Okay, so from Impressionism also, painting movement that sought to capture the fleeting movements of life by painting outdoors and using loose, quick brush strokes. Impressionists focused on modern life and landscapes and often depicted ordinary scenes. Impressionists painted outdoors of an en plein air. Okay, when we talk about en plein air, okay, this is a term also that is used for outdoor paintings. Okay, to capture the effects of natural light and color. They used small, visible strokes and blended colors and open composition. Okay, and Impressionists valued personal expression and artistic process over the academic roots. It has become one of the most influential art styles in Western history. Okay, that is Impressionism. And of course, under Impressionism, we have the Post and the Neo-Impressionism. Okay, so Post-Impressionism is an art movement that emerged in France, which is a result of both the influence and rejection of Impressionists, but later on saw the inherent limitation and flaws of Impressionism. The father of Post-Impressionism is Paul Cézanne. Okay, so in post-Impressionism, a French art movement that emerged between 1886 and 1905. It was a reaction to Impressionism, which focused on depicting light and color in a natural way. Post-Impressionism or impression often distorted forms or expressive effect, used colors that were not found in nature and attributed strong emotional meaning to them. It emphasized abstract qualities and symbolic meaning. That is the post-impressionism. Okay, so as you can see, they have some of them might have faces in their paintings, but usually, if you take a look at them, it distorts the forms or expressive effect of the painting also. Okay, while neo-expressionism, it is an art movement. Neo-Impressionism is considered as a response to empirical realism of Impressionism. Okay, so the leading figure in Neo-Impressionism was George Seurat, who recorded optical sensation on a more scientific manner. His color theories paved the way for the technique called pointillism. Pointillism is a technique of painting in which small, distinct dots of color are applied in patterns to form an image. Okay, so for Neo Impressionism, art movement in France from 1886 to 1906 that used scientific principles to create a new, more modern style of painting. This also no, used the visionist technique, which involved placing primary colors in small dots on the canva instead of mixing them in the palette. It was considered avant-garde at that time. This means that it is new and unusual or experimental ideas, especially in arts or the people introducing them. Again, when we talk about avant-garde, it means that it is somehow new. Okay? Parang bago sa paningin ng mga tao, mga ganyan. Okay? It is at or the attempt of this art is more on experimental. Okay? So, well, of course, that means also that artists began to favor or introduce experimental or unusual ideas. George Swara led the examples of the Neo-Impressionists. He is also considered as the leader of Neo-Impressionism. Okay, so uh, in here also, no, the separation of color through individual strokes of pigment came to be known as divisionism. So again, when we say divisionism, it has something to do with the stroke of pigment. While when we talk about pointillism, this is the application of precise dots of pink. Okay, so again, the artists way back then, especially here in the impressionism, they tried to create something new. Okay, they tried to do it more experimental of what art can be. Okay, because as time goes by, we can all see naman no, the difference between all these arts. Okay, they tried to figure out, especially from the artists, how would they portray an art. Okay, and how would they share it to people? Okay, so that is the Neo-Impressionism. Okay, we have now the Art Nouveau. This ornamented style of art was a break from the conservative historicism, which was the prevailing and dominant theme of most Western artworks. In most works, the defining character of Art Nouveau is the asymmetrical line that is usually in the form of insect wings or flower stalks. For Art Nouveau, it is from a word, French word, okay, means new art. A design movement that sought to modernize design and was highly influenced by natural forms from nature. Okay, so more on organic forms. Okay, and shapes also. Okay, so with that, it is a decorative style that was popular in Europe and United States from the 1890s until World War One. It is inspired by nature. It features flowing lines, undulating forms, and shapes like leaves, trees, vines, and flowers. And also, of course, it doesn't just talk about the painting arts. There are a lot of utilitarian that are used also that are being inspired by Art Nouveau. Okay, so it is also often features asymmetrical composition and it usually portrays female silhouettes with long winding hair. Okay, so we have Alphonse Mucha. He is the father of Art Nouveau. Okay, so that is Art Nouveau. So again, if you're going to talk again with Art Nouveau, usually it is more on women also in terms of painting. Okay, so if your houses have more on organic shape and form, so it can be inspired by Art Nouveau. Okay, this is an example of Art Nouveau because it's more focused on women also. And again, it is somehow asymmetrical because again there is no balance also of each side that would tell of when we talk about the symmetrical or asymmetrical. Okay, so we have Fauvism. This is a style of painting that emerged in France around the turn of the 20th century. Okay, we have an example here, Henri Matisse, Women with a Heart, 1905. So, well, when we talk about Fauvism, it was, again, on 20th century, and art movement and painting style that emphasize color and painted the qualities over realism. Okay, so it is characterized by bold colors. Fauvist paintings use vibrant acidic colors in unusual combination. It emphasizes artists' inner feelings and ideas. The term Fauvism also was coined by art critic Lou Vaucel. This term comes from the French phrase le fauve, I should mean, which means the wild beast. Okay, so again, as you can see as the art, you can see how it was characterized by Fauvism um, with the use of vibrant colors also, and of course, how it was characterized that it is again it emerged in France, and as you can see, it used dark colors also. Now we go with Cubism. Cubism, a French artist, Pablo Picasso and George Braque, introduced a new visual arts called Cubism. This style would later on have a huge influence on artists during the 20th century. Cubists highlight the two-dimensional surface of the picture plane. Cubists emphasize that they are not in any way oblique to copy texture, form, color, and space. They presented a new depiction of reality that may appear fragmented objects for viewers. Okay, so when we talk about cubism, it's more on you're not compromising also of what is the standard about art. And cubism is an art movement also originated in Paris in the early 20th century and is considered one of the most influential art movements of the century. Cubist art is characterized by fragmented and abstracted, often depicting subjects from multiple perspectives. Cubic art often uses geometric shapes to depict humans and other forms. It emphasized, again, the flat two-dimensional surface of the picture plane. And again, Pablo Picasso and George Braque are considered or the creators of Cubism. Okay, so Cubism ideas and techniques have influenced many creative disciplines, including music, ballet, literature, and architecture. Okay, so Cubism it's not just about the arts, the painting. Okay, it has something to do also with music, architecture, with ballet and literature. Because again, it has something to do with not compromising of what is the standard of a society. Okay, so they are trying to, it's more on experimental when we talk about that. Okay, they just want to change how humans, how people see arts. Okay, so we go with futurism. Okay, it is an early 20th century art movement that started in Italy, which highlighted the speed, energy, dynamism, and power of machines. In addition, common themes for works in this movement are restlessness and the past space of modern life. The greatest impact of futurism is evident in poetry and visual arts. Italian poet and editor Filippo Tommaso Marnet coined the term futurism. Okay, and when we talk about futurism, it is an Italian art movement of the early 20th century that aimed to capture art in a dynamic and energy of the modern world. Okay, so we have an example here. Okay, we have dynamic hieroglyphic of the Baltabarin by Severini Gino. Okay, so I know at first that you take a look at the picture, somehow parang distorted, no? But if you take a look at this art class, ang dami niyang images na naka-insert. Okay, so this depicts the energy and movement of Paris nightclub. It emphasizes dynamism, which is a hallmark of Italian futurism. Severini uses repetition and fragmentation to convey the dancer's movement. So as you can see, well, I can see the dancers. So I hope you take a look at the pictures properly so you can see how did Severino use this image to show the restlessness of the modern life. Okay, so truly know that there is a lot of changes as time goes by. So Severini want to portray to you how futurism is. Okay, so that's all, class. Thank you so much. I hope you are all listen and hope you take down notes of the things also that is being said. Okay, so that's all, class. Goodbye, everyone. God bless.